Pow! Introducing U.M.F. U.M.F. is the ugly motherfucker. So, finally got the 630 going. I had to use parts from all over the place. Somebody sent me a chain brake, and I meant before I started this video to look it up and see who it was, but I think it was Kevin. I think. I'm the most forgetful person whenever it comes to names, man. But a face, I never forget a face. So, anyways, I fired it up. It fired right up the 11th pull. I wasn't sure if it was going to run or not because it somebody had swapped out the carburetor for a Husqvarna carburetor. And the Husqvarna carburetor, same carburetor, I think, but the Husqvarna carburetor doesn't have the built-in high idle whenever you pull the choke. The Husqvarna has it right here on the handle. And well, I had tested the gas tank. I thought that the gas tank was bad because I saw an area right here that was just kind of oily, you know, so I filled it up with water and it didn't leak a drop. Then whenever I was putting it together, that was like 2 days, it didn't leak not a drop. It didn't leak, period. It didn't leak, okay? And so I put it all together and I noticed down here at the handle, I could push on it and I could see that seam open up. And I was like, oh geez, oh geez. So I grabbed, this is the handle off of a 268 XP that it's basically a parts saw really, but I'll be using parts of it and the 266 XP or SE, which is, I can't remember, I think it's a 266 XP, but I'll be using those two to combine and make one saw. The one that's got the screwed up crank. Anyways, but in putting this on there, I wasn't able to just easily use the handle for my for the Jonsered handle. It's a little bit shorter, or no, I'm sorry, it's longer. Comes down longer here. I could have cut it off, but that handle is in good shape, and I don't want to mess that up. I might later down the line get another Jonsered that's all good, but it needs a new handle. See what I'm saying? So I don't want to screw that up. So this is the handle off of that same saw that the tank came from. So it's got a Husqvarna carburetor on it. It's got a Husqvarna handle. It's got the coil out of the 266. Same igniter coil, or exciter coil, I should say. But the actual coil is from that 266. The cover on the front here, it says Jonsered 670 Super, which it is not. I don't think it's ever been. So I just grabbed the bar, and this is that square file chain that Gary Buxton sent me, and should pull it easy. We're about to do the first tuning and see how she goes, how she cuts. Very sluggish. seems to be good to go. I rebuilt the carburetor on it. And yeah, I mean, what can you say? It feels about like, yeah, it seems to be oiling. It feels about like a Husqvarna 61, you know, nothing special at all, really. But then again, you know, this is the first time it's ran, right here. I'm running a base gasket and everything. I don't, you know, I didn't want this to be modified in any way whenever you got it, really. Not that it matters, but... what is going on there? It's running great. Whoa. Dang it. I bet you it doesn't have spark. Change out the exciter coil and see if that works. Hopefully it does. Because yeah, it was running great, and then no more. Pain in my ass. Whew, boy, I've been all through this thing. I was going to go ahead and swap out that exciter coil with the other one that I had, but I was like, the only reason I swapped out the coil at all is because the keel wire on the other one was broken off. So, back to it. Okay, it definitely had lost spark, and I believe it was wholly because of the wire. You know, these things are old. The wire, I had routed it back behind the exciter coil, created a crack. Maybe it was getting some ground there. Or it could have been the exciter coil. I went ahead and swapped out the exciter coil, see how it goes. Oh. The kill switch ain't working very well now. Oh God. Come on. The whole reason I was really quick to jump to the exciter coil is because it had kind of a weak spark to begin with. So, anyways. That's partial throttle. It doesn't want to be at partial throttle. Weird. That's partial throttle, like 10%. There we go. The kill switch still only works about half the time. But that's what I was expecting. Okay, I don't know if the rings just needed to get seated just a tiny bit, or I think probably more likely, it's fine. It's not running too hot. I think probably more than likely what happens a lot of times, I think, I'm theorizing with this. I don't have a massive amount of experience, but a lot of times, like this saw is 63 cc's, 62 point something cc's, something like that, 62. Well, it still has the carburetor. That was the same carburetor used as the 670. It might have the carburetor of the 272 XP. I don't know. But my point is even if it has the carburetor of the 670, then this carburetor is a little bit big for the saw. I mean, it's not an issue, but what you find whenever you have a carburetor that's a little bit more than what the saw can handle is the low speed, the low jet is much more critical to find its perfect balance. And to find its perfect balance, you have to fatten it up, and it wants to slow down the saw, so then you turn the actual idle screw up to keep your RPMs up, right? And you have to go back and forth like that with speeding it up by leaning out the low jet and then slowing it down by backing off on the idle adjustment. So getting your low jet dialed in on a saw that has a little bit too much carburetor can be tricky. And I think that's all that we were seeing right there. It was I was trying to find the balance between the actual jet for the low side in combination with the idle adjustment screw. So I think that I found it really running good now, and that low speed jet, that accounts for something like 10% of your high RPM fueling. So it's critical to get that low speed right. All right, look at the bent up handle on it. Okay, so Aaron, buddy, yeah, we're oiling just right. It's a nice warm bar, right? But I can leave my hand on there. I got the oiler set at number 2. So, great. Okay, Aaron, you ready for it, brother? So I think it's ready to go. You can go ahead and work on it from here. I think it's a pretty solid saw. I think the room that we're feeling, and it's not snappy, I think that'll all be taken care of with the port work. Yeah, that's all in the kill switch. The kill switch is a little finicky there. But I think we're ready to go. All right, so reach out to me, Aaron, and I'll get it sent up to you, brother. Very cool. Oh, it doesn't feel like a 61 now. It wants to rev a little bit more than a 61 does. And this just, I mean, you have seen all that it has ran. I started it up once before I ever started the camera, right? But I almost immediately brought it out here, you know? So you've seen all of its running, really. And so that ring and needs to seat in and everything, but it's already feeling like it'd be faster than a Husqvarna 61, which it should. This is more of a hot version of that saw.